Welcome to Business Coaching Secrets with Karl Bryan. If you want to attract new high-end coaching clients, fill live events, and build a wildly profitable coaching practice where business owners pay, stay, and refer, you've come to the right place. In this podcast, Karl provides his keys to the kingdom for finding and signing high-paying clients and building the coaching business of your dreams. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, skirts, coaches around the world. Wow. Welcome to another episode of Business Coaching Secrets. It's your boy, the Road Dog, with none other than the man, the myth, the legend, the guy who told me not to worry about his foot fungus, and it's now spreading across America, Karl Bryan. Welcome to the show, big guy.
Shit.
You got to catch stuff early, bud, and now it's spreading across all these like senior homes across the country, and I think you are patient zero, my friend.
Am I? You know, I do have my wife and my daughter specifically, but I've got this toe that I went when I was playing hockey. I went full speed into the boards, and my big toe caught the entire brunt of my weight, the guy behind me, and like boom, at pretty decent speed. And to this day, and sadly, I'm sitting here in no shoes. I'm looking at it, and it's never grown back. Shoots. It's pretty gross looking toe. It's literally still dark to this day. So
okay, so
there you go. Maybe that's how the foot fungus thing happened. Shoots.
It's interesting because I thought for sure it would have been your nose that took the brunt of all that, but that's just.
My nose. You've seen my nose. It's not pretty.
Between your nose, your toe, and the fact that you don't have a belly button, you are a very, you are a specimen. That is for sure. And some might say,
handicapped. I be able to park in the handicap spot. Shoots.
It's you know what? It's your competitive advantage, which leads me right into the first question. I'm wondering, how can I pivot to this question? Well, there you go, folks. This is how the pros do it, right? Oh dear God. Did I just say that having no belly button and a beat up nose is a competitive advantage?
You did, shit.
I sure did. But in your opinion, aside from your physical ailments, how would you, and what's the ultimate competitive advantage?
That's the question right there.
That is it. The question is, what's the ultimate competitive? There's no real frame around if it's business. I would naturally assume it's business, but if if you want to kind of back out from there, you can.
You did. Well, you did. The segue was like next level. Shoots. Okay. Ultimate competitive advantage. Well, I'll tell you this. Okay, so line me up with 100 business owners, and if I ask them that question, and I don't know that we'd word it quite like that, right? Ultimate competitive advantage, but like, what do you want to have in your favor? What's the one thing? I'd get a marker and write it on the whiteboard or the flip chart. They'd say like the best product. Definitely, we'd hear marketing. Network, your network is your net worth, right? So there'd be people thinking, you know what, if I was just surrounded by, total winners, etc. If I had an abundance of money, again, like a business owner with deep pockets versus a business owner, kind of scraping by, the money would presumably be a competitive advantage. Experience, again, here all the time, I'm young. At the same time, on the other side, we hear that, of age, you know what I mean? My age is a disadvantage because I don't have as much energy as the younger guys. It's so funny how, you know what I mean? Like I'm too young, so that's why I'm not going to make it. And then I'm too old, so that's how I'm not going to make it. I think people would say mental toughness, communication, which I do think is an advantage. I don't know that it's the ultimate. Better team, somebody who can manage their emotions. Again, that is something, somebody who's non-emotional is going to have a higher level of success on average than somebody who, flip-flops. But bottom line, ultimate competitive advantage, the ability to see the entire playing field would be the ultimate competitive advantage. Taking a step back. If you just think, what's that saying? Gretzky, he didn't skate to where the puck was. He skated to where the puck was going. Right? Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was like an offensive juggernaut in basketball. But what, again, a lot of people don't realize is that he was voted. He was like the defensive player of the year when the Bulls beat the Pistons and really took off. It had a lot to do with the fact that it had a lot to do with Jordan's total commitment to defense, which I think if we think that through, that is him having the ability to see the entire playing field, including the playoffs, including losing to the Pistons multiple times, where he really saw his offense wasn't his problem. And defense wasn't necessarily his problem, but elite defense was going to inspire his teammates at a higher level. Schumacher is another one that comes to mind. Like Schumacher was, I believe to be the greatest F1 driver of all time. What people don't know is that he's a mechanic, and he would come in and he could just tell by the way that the car was handling and the way that the car was running and the noise for sure. He could, bring it in and say, look, here's what we need tinkered with. This is what I want you to move. This is what I want you to take out, or whatever. I don't think he was saying that. You know what I mean? He's like tinkering with the engine. Think of Bezos. Like, remember when Bezos started Amazon, you were scared to put your credit card into a website for fear of, fraud, etc. And then today, you're probably refused to give your credit card over a phone for the same reason. And you say, send me a link so that I can put it online where it's secure, right? Bezos saw the entire playing field long before we did and worked out pretty well. Gates would be the same thing. Again, he saw the need for software, was able to see things at higher level. Steve Jobs, you watch the show, like, if you know anything about Steve Jobs, you know that was just literally a superpower of his to be able to see, 2-3 steps ahead. So there's business people, Bezos, Gates, Jobs, etc. There's the athletes, Serena Williams, Gretzky, Jordan, Schumacher, you name it. Politicians, anybody in healthcare, people in AI right now. Who was working on AI 5 years ago? Why were they doing it? What were they doing? Well, they saw where the puck was going. They saw the entire playing field and knew that we were going to come to, Chat GPT and all that is to come. And let me tell you, we're in for a wild ride, in my opinion. But anyway, so the ability to see the entire playing field. And importantly, for those, like the business owners and the business coaches, consultants, et cetera, listening, like, you're not always going to be right. Like, imagine if Gretzky skated where the puck was going instead of where the puck was. Do you think that he maybe guessed wrong a few times? Do you think Jordan made some defensive boo-boos, when he was starting to commit to defense? And the answer is, without being there, the answer is absolutely. The good news is, you're not always going to be right, but as you do it more, you guess more with time and experience, you're going to get better and better and better. And I think that that's an example of something that will provide you that hockey stick type growth, that compounding type of experience. So shoots, that's my, the ability to see the entire playing field. That's my answer. I think also maybe if we go, like, that would be like business ultimate competitive advantage. I'd say for marketing, like that, what's the ultimate competitive advantage in marketing? I think that would be a hungry audience, right? You could give away free burgers, but if you're talking to an audience of vegetarians, it's not going to go very well. So you need a hungry audience, or explain differently. I'd rather fill a hole than dig a hole, right? So you're looking for an existing need. So hungry audience, I think, is important. And then maybe for business, I'm going to say negotiation is, like, again, something that would be right up there, right? So the ultimate competitive advantage is the entire, the ability to see the entire playing field. But I think that, we got to give secondary love and shout out to, going after a hungry audience and then understanding negotiation, right? Like I had a mentor when I was young, and he taught me negotiation when I was 21. Well, it taught me a lot about licensing, franchising, and a whole bunch. And I was doing $100,000 to $500,000 coaching deals in the mid 2000s, right? Without his guidance or without that, his ability, his willingness, frankly, not his ability, but to, mentor me a little bit and provide some guidance. Wouldn't have been able to do that. And again, this isn't something that I was selling on somebody else's behalf. I created my own $100,000 offers, $500,000 up to $500,000 offers. I created the product. I sat with the lawyers. I closed the deals. I got the paperwork signed. I got the money transferred. I didn't delegate those responsibilities, right? Like I saw the whole thing through. And without seeing the entire playing field and knowing that, okay, if you're going to get deals like that done, you're probably going to have some fancy paperwork. And then that fancy paperwork is going to have to be done by lawyers as opposed to, some templated thing off the internet, right? So anyways, so finding a hungry audience and understanding and being able to deploy negotiation would fall into competitive advantage. And, none of those things came naturally the same way that I don't know defense came naturally to Michael Jordan or, being a mechanic came naturally to Schumacher. These are things that you have to work at. The way you work at them, you study them, you learn them, you apply, you pay attention, and then you go back for more and you get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little better, a little bit better, a little bit better, including some mistakes along the way. But remember, when you play Monopoly properly, what happens halfway through? You feel like you're losing because you're out of cash and all the cards are flipped over. Again, you double a penny for 31 days. You got $10 million on day 31, but the problem is it's day 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 for such a long time, you feel like you're losing, right? So the same way that you're doing local live events and you fill the first one, the second one, the third one, it's not going so well. Am I getting anywhere? Is this a waste of time? I've only got one client so far. That guy canceled. Halfway through, you feel like you're losing. So, yeah, there you go, Shoots. But ultimate competitive advantage, the ability to see the entire playing field. That is my answer.
All right. I'm going to also add for marketing because that's sort of my jamboree. The ultimate, like exactly as you're saying, seeing the whole picture. Because a lot of people they'll focus in on one aspect of marketing. They have zero follow up. They have zero experience as part of their fulfillment. They have nothing else, and that's crazy in my opinion. It's that whole you want to fill that hole 100%. That's epic advice right there in terms of getting that hungry audience. But once you sort of go beyond that, and that's where you massively scale, right? When you understand and see the problems before the people do, that's what you're talking about, like with be it Gates or Musk or whoever. Holy smokes, that's when you go 100, 1,000x. But that all being said, I want to flip this a little bit. So we're talking about ultimate competitive advantage, but what would you say would fall under an unfair advantage in business?
Okay. What would I say? Well, so I would say hungry audience and negotiation might fall under that, but I don't know, being easy to locate but hard to access. I think that, you want them to know, what is it? You want them to know your name, but not your face. You want them to know your name, but not your face. That was said. I don't know who said that, but it was a famous Hollywood guy. And so shout out to him. I don't know who it is, by the way.
But it's somebody whose name you would recognize. Quote, I'm trying to think of who has the most busted up nose in hockey. I'm sure he said something similar.
Yeah, there you go. Don't want to know my ugly face, but no. So easy to locate, hard to access, I think, is a frame. I think that's important. Actually, Charlie Munger, and again, I think I said this recently on the podcast, but I think it's pure bloody gold. Never underestimate a man that overestimates himself. Never underestimate a man that overestimates himself. And that's Charlie Munger on Elon Musk. I think that is pure gold. Like pessimists, what does that mean? Like pessimists are far smarter, more accurate, they'll do incredibly well on their SATs and probably get accepted into a higher level university college, right? But optimists are often totally out to lunch, but they're the ones that change the world, right? So again, like I get a saying, the crazy ones make all the money. In fact, at Business Coaching Mastery in Cancun, that's always a sign that's up on the wall and often gets some funny comments, but without doubt, my experience, and just think about it. But the crazy ones make all the money. So question, are you crazy? Are you thinking crazy? And really think about it as a frame, like, you're thinking. Like what did Jobs say back in the day? Those who think they can change the world are the ones that do, right? So again, pretty outrageous statement to say that you could change the world, but work for Jobs might work for you, might work for your clients. Unfair, you know what? Okay, unfair advantage. This is what I was trying to think. Hypnosis. When selling, when trying to influence someone, it's literally a dangerous skill to possess. Takes some study, takes some effort, but hypnosis is it would give you, if one person knows hypnosis and the other one doesn't, and they're both trying to sell whatever it is, a thing, a widget. I'm betting on the guy with hypnosis experience for sure. So
with,
I don't know.
with that, Carl, by the way, I always had a problem with this myself mentally. Like, it was a mental block for me, was the whole, be it hypnosis or persuasion, right? How to persuade people to do things that you want them to do, until it was reframed for me into ethical persuasion by getting them to do the thing that they have to do for their own sake. But anyways, that being said, can you give me an example of hypnosis being used when selling?
Ooh. Okay. So influencing. Actually, one of my longtime clients, Michael Johns, he had the longest running adult hypnosis show in Vegas, and went a few times. And I got to tell you, adult hypnosis in Las Vegas was a hell of an experience. One time I was actually, Road Dog, I'm sitting in the audience. And so he's got like 10 people on stage, and then his goal is to hypnotize them, which doesn't always happen. But then so I'm sitting in the audience, and then so not all of the people get hypnotized. And I'm sitting in the audience, and I got hypnotized from the audience. So they brought me up, and I ended up in one of the chairs. I think that's how I originally met him, by the way. And we became buds. He became a client. Good guy. And I've spoken to him at length. He actually came to Business Coaching Mastery one year and put on a heck of a show. He's very impressive. But anyways, so he would say, so he taught me this thing about 3 statements. And that's, so let me just think. So it's like, I'm trying to sell something. So 3 statements. I would say, Road Dog, it's Tuesday at 2:10 p.m. As we start this call, we're both on Zoom, 2 different cities, maybe 2 different countries, right? But 2 different cities, and you're beginning to see the path to becoming more successful with your business, and you're building that super profitable company that works profitably without you, regardless of external or economic circumstances. You're beginning to recognize a system that can help guide you and accomplish almost anything that you set your mind to. People will not only be envious of what you have, but because of who you are and how you show up. You will no longer play small. You see that it's time for Road Dog to, no, I wouldn't. It's time to start playing big, and you're excited to be guided by my system, right? Okay, I don't know. Not sure how good that was, but what happened? The first sentence was, what did I say? It was 2 o'clock. It was 2 o'clock. It was 2:05. It was 2:10 on Tuesday. Okay, that is undeniable. I literally looked down at my clock. It's 2:10 on Tuesday. That is true, right? 100% factual. Second sentence was also true, where I said we're in 2 different cities or 2 different countries, and we're both on Zoom, right? Again, 100% true statement. The third one is the one that I'm leading you towards, right? So you could do this like, okay, so let's say that I also had a client, he was really, really high level self hypnosis guy. Like this guy used to go to the dentist and he didn't take any drugs. He just laid down, said, just give me a minute, hypnotized himself, and they would drill. And he got like root canals the whole 9 yards, right? So he wrote this is years and years and years ago, but he wrote a really interesting book that I actually gave to my father-in-law when he needed a little bit of help. And it was, it's really, really cool. A guy, gosh dang, I can't remember his name, long time ago, but what a powerhouse he was. But anyway, so hypnotizing yourself is what I'm trying to say. And he had similar guidance and advice. So if you were going to hypnotize yourself, what would you say? I am in my home. I have a full fridge of food. The opportunities around me are literally limitless. And as I continue to live without fear, those opportunities before me expand exponentially for me and my business coaching company. Right. But so hypnosis, just all I did there, Shoots, 3 statements. 1 is factual, 2 is factual, 3rd is what I'm trying to lead you to. And again, there's people that know hypnosis about 1,000,000 times better than I. They could guide you, but that really, really powerful. And that is exactly when you sit in a chair and they get people up dancing like Pee Wee Herman, they follow that exact frame, 3 statements, boom, boom, and lead you to where I want to lead you. So.
Pee Wee Herman, hey, that's where you go. That's like, it's so interesting. You could have literally picked anybody, and that's where you went. Small glimpse, everybody, into the brain of Karl Bryan. Hey, listen, by the way, that to me with the 3 statements, would you say then that hypnosis in a way is very similar to just doing incantations? Is incantations a form of self hypnosis?
A form of it. Absolutely it is. You just, look, all you do, look, I'll give you 2 words, man. Hypnosis 101. I am. Say, like, stare at yourself in the mirror and say, I am, what is the, I am wealthy. I love money and money loves me, as an example, and just say that over and over and over again. But I am. Anything you say after I am, is literally self-hypnosis. I know another guy. He worked with a lot of professional athletes. Worked with Wayne Gretzky, Mark Messier, Glenn Sather. Which, if you don't know hockey, those names might sound. Sure, you know Gretzky, but the others you might not. But they're total legends in the Hall of Fame. And his books started. That's the name of his book. I Am. So yeah, so the answer is absolutely. But if you want to hypnotize yourself, just say I am, and anything afterwards, your mind, it's a form of self-hypnosis. And again, people, Road Dog, much better than I. So if that really is your thing, that might be something you might want to explore. Very powerful. Very
worst
powerful.
Case scenario, you give yourself some positive self-talk, right? I just think of it more of the Tony Robbins when he talked about doing his incantations, and he's just like, he said it to himself long enough that he started to believe it. And it's so powerful, because if nothing else, I would just encourage people to just take an inventory of the language and the words that you use on a daily basis, and how many of those. I think I heard Jordan Peterson talking about that, where it's just we use weak words, and that make us weak. Imagine if you started using more powerful words that are just more of a true reflection of the person that you want to become. So that's maybe
So it's 3 things. It's focus. What do you focus on, positive or negative? Obviously, you want to start focusing on the positive, and there's a really good chance that you focus on the negative first. You got to train it again, like Jordan in basketball and defense, right? Got to train yourself and get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. It'll be day 15, 16, 17, 18 forever. But boom, once you make that shift, it could change everything. So you change your focus. And then it's your physiology, right? Like, again, you got to, like, how do you move your body? Again, you stand like Superman or Superwoman for a period of time, hands on hips, shoulders out. Watch Michael Jordan walk onto a basketball court. In fact, watch Michael Jordan walk anywhere, and you're going to see a man with his shoulders back and just picture taking a piece of string in between his chest and then pulling up. And that's the way that he walks, with his chest out. Just does it naturally. Try that and just watch how you feel. It's scientifically proven. I believe that's Harvard study, that if you do that for 2 minutes, that you basically get dopamine flowing through your body. The same way that you get likes, comments, shares, and that kind of crap on Facebook, you do the exact same thing by standing with your shoulders back. And then if you breathe deeply, which will happen organically when you do that, but if you concentrate on it, again, you just feel significantly stronger, fearless, and your potential goes up big time. So it's your physiology, it's your focus, and then it's what you just said a minute ago, your language. And it's like, what are you saying? And again, much like your focus, where you go to negative naturally, there's a pretty good chance that the language you're using is going towards pessimism as opposed to optimism. And I just said a minute ago that optimism, like, it literally, the crazy ones make all the money. The people who think they can change the world, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world, are the ones that do. Right? It's what Steve Jobs said, and it's absolutely true. So language, physiology, your focus, and that's a Tony Robbins 101. And again, you love Tony Robbins, you don't love Tony Robbins, irrelevant. Guy's got some great content around moving audiences and a body of work of, Lord knows, 4 decades of success. You'd be crazy not to learn from him a little bit. And that's what he calls a triad. Focus, physiology, and language. Concentrate on those 3 things, and you'll have some success. But I am, what do you say after that? That will, you change your language, you change your life. So there we go.
And primarily change the language even when no one's around, right? What's the language you use yourself? You talk about the walk thing. I just think of Conor McGregor, right? Like, you look at McGregor walk, 100%.
Yeah. Oh my God, with his arms waving. Oh my God, I love it.
So good.
If there's hockey, Brad John, he scored a goal. Conor McGregor came and gave him a pump up pump up talk. And then he was actually at the game in the box watching. And Brad Marchand, for anybody listening, he's like the rat of the NHL. Like, he's the guy that you absolutely hate unless he's on your team, and then you absolutely love him. And he's not on my team, so I can't stand the guy, but trade him to the Toronto Maple Leafs any day of the week, and I'd take him and love him. But anyway, so he scored a goal, and he did that walk on skates, after he scored. It was pure. It was unreal, man.
Yeah, that sounds like Marchand for sure. And by the way, as much as I hate the Bruins, oh man, like, is anyone going to beat those guys this year? Holy smokes!
Yes, the Leafs should. You heard it here first. The Leafs. You heard it here first.
Oh boy, but yeah. Anyways, you're missing out on all these great Austin Matthews commercials that he's doing for RBC up here. Oh my God, they're so bad, they're actually good. Like, it's something else. Anyways, we could easily
actually hang on, Shoots. Can I just say something? There's a saying: what you say about yourself to yourself when you're by yourself matters. What you say to yourself when you're by yourself. No, hang on. What you say to yourself about yourself when you're by yourself matters. And again, concentrate on it. Get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. When you double a penny for 31 days, you got $10 million. Problem, day 15, 16, 17, 18, forever. You're going to do that, and you're not going to feel like you're getting anywhere. It's not having any impact. It's not having any impact. It's not having any impact. And all of a sudden, you'll be like, holy smokes, it's working.
Well, the funny thing is, again, I always, every week, I seem to have something from a sermon that I watched, right? Predictable misery. We all know, like, you can almost predict how you're going to react, the things you're going to do, everything else, if you're unhappy. And it's the opposite as well. Like, what are the decisions? How much better are you at making decisions? When do things actually move for you? It's when you get yourself out of that. So the question is, how long are you willing to stay in that instead of getting yourself back into a positive mindset? Well, that's when things change, right? So if you've had success, think of what were the things that you were doing. Like, be it prospecting, be it the conversations you're having, the confidence and the cadence of your speech and your voice. Go back to that, right? Just do the things that you were doing then, even if you don't really feel like it or believe it in the moment. Man, oh man, that's huge. Okay, Last question here. I want to get this in because I stumbled across this, got this from somebody a while back. And you were talking about the importance of crafting the right message. This sort of ties in perfectly here. That's why I wanted to get this in. When it comes to crafting the right message, right? You've talked about some hypnosis stuff. We've talked about positive stuff, everything else. But I think this kind of goes in a bigger, creating a frame when it comes to, I believe, more of a business type message. Is there a process to create that?
Yes. So when you don't know how to answer. So look, when you're presenting your marketing message, I want you to think about doing it in an organized fashion, right? So I would start this with, consistency wins over talent every day of the week and twice on Sunday. That's why if you look at the NHL, the NFL, the NBA, small towns are filled with guys who are better, faster, stronger. And by the way, you probably know a few of them that were far more talented, far better back in the day. And then the other guy individual made it to the NFL, made it to the NBA, made it to the NHL, made it to the big leagues, made it to the PGA Tour, playing in the French Open. Roger Federer would fall into this, right? Where again, he really wasn't that great. And then he just a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then, he's debatably the greatest of all time, right? Anyway, so an organized fashion, I would have you see that as consistency over talent, right? Look, translation, coming up with it isn't enough. That's what I'm trying to say. You need to present, a powerful message, and you need to do it consistently, and you need to do it in a compelling way, right? So think of it as before your prospective client will respond to your offer, they need to be led through a series of ordered steps. So that gets structure. So if I were to put this in an ABC, it'd be like, you got to bring awareness to a need or a desire. Okay, that's what your client wants, right? They need to be told about the solution that'll fill that void, right? So need, desire. The void is the need, the desire, right? And then they need to be shown a vehicle, and then that vehicle will be what? You, your product, your service, your industry, right? With that solution. And actually, I might just go to a fourth. So, and then they have to have. So you got to bring awareness. They got to be shown a solution, and then they got to be shown a vehicle, which is you, your product, your service, etc., that'll provide that, and then a reason to act immediately. So let's call that like a mafia style offer, and a mafia style offer is one that they can't refuse, right? So otherwise stated, like on our software, we'd call that a compelling offer, right? So paramount, the understanding must be walked through these ordered steps in a consistent way, and not just a mark. What do most people do? They put together a marketing message that's really good. They throw it against a wall, hope it's going to stick. Otherwise could be described as spray and pray marketing, right? That's not the program you want to be on. And by the way, just look online at a series of websites, or open up your local newspaper, or go to the local newspaper and have a look at the websites, have a look at the ads, and you are going to see companies as you walk through that do not have an ordered process in any way, shape, or form, right? Again, their website, their marketing, their advertising is going to be substandard at best. And by the way, to save you the time, you don't even waste your time to go and look. And the translation of that is just understanding this provides a great and systematic way to bring a consistent number of, for you, a high-end coaching clients, right? And then for your clients, consistent leads, right? So again, A, must bring awareness. B, must be told about a solution. 3, must be shown a vehicle. And then we'll put in a D or a fourth, and that's like a reason to act immediately, right? So like flare interest from your prospective client in some manner, like otherwise stated, that presents the information in an interesting, benefit-orientated way for their prospect, right? Like again, benefit-orientated. Like you've seen this done successfully in the weight loss industry through before. You'll never see a successful ad in the weight loss industry that doesn't have before and after photos, right? You want an example of that? Just think Subway And actually, I shouldn't even say that guy. They had a guy who's super overweight. The guy's in jail, and he's a horrific human being. But at the end of the day, it was an insanely successful campaign that debatably, grew Subway to where it is today. And you just see it was just a before and after. Any weight loss is before and after. Or they use creative statistics that are not usually made available, or a powerful narrative and stories about you or your company. Remember, Zappos did this really, really well back in the day. Or wild statistics can also work, right? So think of the virus back in the day, and then how they scared the crap out of you, right, through stats. And look, you'll see coaches that work with us flare interest by able to offer any owner 100 grand in 45 minutes without them having to spend $1 on marketing or advertising, right? Like, again, the average business owner, if you've heard that 100 times, it might feel a little bit watered down and platitudinal, but I guarantee that the chiropractor, the dentist, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker are all over it, right? Like, they're just like, they'll make you repeat it. Like, what did you just say? You're going to find me 100 grand in what? And it's like 100 grand in 45 minutes without you spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. Really importantly, the second half of that, without spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising, the first half isn't anywhere near as powerful without the second half, right? So at the end of the day, though, we need to state these marketing messages in a way that flares interest. Or like back in the day, my message was 4 words long when I was selling more traditional, just business coaching and business consulting, and it was 4 words: no results, no fee. And by the way, it was 20 words long, and then I got it down to 10 words long, and then I got it down to 6 words long. It's not like I came up with 4 words and did it overnight. It was something that I refined. I brought in professionals. I had people guide me. I knew exactly what I was looking for and where I wanted to get to. I just wasn't sure exactly what it was. And then boom, we basically managed to encapsulate the benefit of working with us, also by weeding out the hazards and the bad experiences that they had with other experts, right? No results, no fee. No results, no fee is all about the prospective client and nothing about me or us or the company. No results, them. No fee, them. No results, no fee, right? Very, very powerful. But anyway, so I presumably that flares interest, and that's what you're looking to do. After you do that, you got to tell them what to do next, right? Like, effective marketing tells you what to do and then provides a reason. Overstocked, understocked. It's Christmas. It's our anniversary. It's your anniversary. It's your birthday. It's our birthday. Limited time offer, etc. Only a certain amount or a certain date. So that you should respond immediately, right? So again, so it tells them, once I put it in front of them, it tells them what to do next. Like, one of the things back in the day is I would say, look, I can give me 2 hours of your time and I guarantee to make you more money. And then what I would do is offer them a marketing workshop at Tuesday at the local Chamber of Commerce, right? It was really simple. I told them, I flared interest and I told them what to do next. It's not message there. It's not always obvious what to do next. You don't flare their interest, then not tell them what to do, right? And then you'd follow that up with walking them through a process every time from first to last step, right? So a huge mistake in marketing is taking shortcuts and essentially selling on talent versus process after it starts to work, right? So if the head salesperson, and that might be you or that might be an individual in your company, when you say you need to do something, when you want something done properly, you do it yourself, right? Then you got a problem. You're not able to duplicate that attitude and that framework. It's impossible, right? So the money is always in the process, and you got to recognize that. As good as you are, you basically need to say and do the same thing time after time after time, right? So I said earlier, consistency wins over talent. Always. You really, and Monopoly, it's halfway through for a long time. It's day 14, 15, 16, 17, what feels forever, but you really gotta, work hard to create that consistency, that framework, so that it can be duplicated, right? So, otherwise, again, you're gonna, forever, be an entrepreneur, but really have a job. And you wouldn't be listening to this if that was the goal, right? Like your marketing message, how do you present it? Basic, flare interest, tell them what to do next, and then walk them through the process and do it the same way every time, and have a first to a last step. Let's call it a 5-step process. Don't go to 1 to 3 because you're good. Don't go from 1 to 4 because they're so interest. Go 1, go 2, go 3, go 4, and then close them on 5. Like, create that systematic framework. So that's my answer, Shoots. Good question. And it's not just about the message, it's a process to deliver it. That next step, again, I can really see business coaches that don't do workshops, get somebody on the phone, meet somebody on a plane, meet somebody in a bus, meet somebody at the crosswalk or in an elevator. If you don't have go here for them to get education, you're not giving them that next step. So what do most coaches do is they do a workshop and then they don't do another one for 3 months, 4 months. When they need clients again, they do the workshop, right? Consistency over talent all day long and twice on Sunday. So hopefully that's helpful, Shoots. What do you think?
Yeah, I like that. That alone, right there, what you just said of where are you pointing them? You meet somebody, where are you sending them? Where that you will have an interaction with them again, right? Instead of just saying, "Oh, check out my website," that's pretty lame, right? Anyways. Love that. Love that. All right. I guess we got a couple minutes. Close us out, man. What's the one thing? The one thing to take, because for me, that was the one thing right there is, do you have a go-to, be it an event, be it a landing page, whatever, where are you sending people to? That's my one thing that I got out of today.
Yep.
But what about you? What's one thing that you think people can take from today and implement immediately into their business?
What? I don't know, that opening question, ultimate competitive advantage, understanding that, again, it's not network, it's not marketing, it's not product, sales ability, or mental toughness. Despite, it's certainly not hustle and grind, in my opinion. Somebody could, lots of, whatever influencers out there would disagree, and that's fine. God bless them, let them go. But the hustle and grind, it's the ability to see the entire playing field, right? Again, locally, so just artificial intelligence. Do you think business owners are thinking artificial intelligence? Well, let me tell you, if you're doing a presentation every Tuesday at 7:00 at the Chamber of Commerce, and artificial intelligence is one of the things that you're talking about, you don't need to be an expert in it to be able to explain some of the nuances, some of the positives, some of the negatives, just by sheer fact that you're going to bring them into the room and start talking artificial intelligence. I don't know. Do you think you might be able to get their attention? Do you think that might be a good idea? And by the way, when you talk about something, guess what? You start, when I do a presentation, whether it be minutes, an hour, 2 hours, or an entire day, the one person that learns more than the entire audience collectively is me, the guy who puts together the presentation. So I challenge you, if you think artificial intelligence, we're doing a full day event coming up on April 27th, I think it is. And guess what the whole topic? It's artificial intelligence for business coaches, only available to our clients. It's an internal thing. I might be letting a cat out of the bag here a little bit earlier. It's about to come out. But at the end of the day, who do you think is going to learn more about artificial intelligence by putting together a full day on artificial intelligence, right? And it's us putting together the entire day, and everybody's going to come and everybody's going to learn something. What am I suggesting? What am I saying? If you saw the entire playing field and you see the importance of artificial intelligence, well, I'm going to challenge you to go and put together your own day around, you know what I mean? Or no, take that back. The entire day is going to be maybe a little more than you might feel comfortable with. But surely you could talk, if you have a 2-hour presentation, a 90-minute presentation, surely you could talk on artificial intelligence for 10 minutes and what that means for the chiropractor, the dentist, the butcher, the candlestick man, our dentist, the chiropractor, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, right? And by the way, if you want to know the answer to that, it's not really going to affect the chiropractor and his ability to crack your back and whatnot. Not right now. We're not there yet. But admin, his bookkeeping, his accounting, his secretary, answering the phone, sending out emails, that sort of thing. Think admin. It's absolutely, it is going to affect him big time in the not too distant future. It might not right now, but being able to show him the entire playing field and where the puck's going in that area would probably be a pretty good idea. Raise some eyebrows. You're educating folks. Everybody loves the educator. If you show me a 10-year-old and I say, who are your favorite 3 people on the planet, will always be a teacher. Not always, but like almost always, right? Why? Everybody loves the educator. You guys as well, if you're listening to this, who's the person that's educating you? I guarantee you, these are people that you literally have admiration and you have a level of love for them. Like you just love these folks, right? So, and you feel magnetically attracted to them, if that makes sense, right? So become that person, right? Like get out there. And by the way, you're going to grow. Your first presentation, the first time you talk on artificial intelligence, are you going to knock it out of the park? The answer is probably no. Maybe you're going to kill it, and that's great. From day one, you probably won't. Most don't. But if you do it over and over and over and over and over again, remember consistency over talent every day of the week, twice on Sunday, you're going to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And by the way, you're going to educate yourself at a high level. So ability to see the entire playing field. We started with the ultimate competitive advantage. That's absolutely the ultimate advantage, in my opinion. So maybe if we're thinking along those lines, that might be beneficial. That's my answer, Shoots.
All right. You know what? You just gave me a great idea on how to fill my room this coming week for my presentation. That is, everyone's been telling you go to advertise on TikTok. Now what? Right?
Yeah.
Like this is it. It's very possible that TikTok is going to get banned in the U.S. And if that's the case, then what, right? Like, what if you were because everyone's been bragging about that and going there. So, anyways, listen, the irony of you being able to stand there and see the entire field of play isn't lost on me, or somebody who that is 5'2". It's pretty amazing, dude. Good job. Anywho, on that note, had to get a short joke in. I've been really too nice lately, I think. I think I gotta find some new digs. Anyways, if you have any of those, folks, feel free to send those into the program. Anyways, thanks for tuning into another episode of Business Coaching Secrets with none other than the man, the myth, the guy that sees the entire playing field from a height disadvantage, King Karl. And if you aren't on the inside and getting access to the pre-show, you're not getting Karl's daily emails. You want information about that presentation coming up in about a month, you might want to go to focus.com and subscribe today. And if you enjoyed the podcast, please like, share, and do all the things to show some love, because we always appreciate that. And that is it, folks, for another week. As I always say, progress equals happiness. Take care, everybody. We'll see you in the next show.
Karl Bryan built Profit Acceleration Software 2.0 to train business coaches how to find any small business owner more than $100,000 in 45 minutes without them spending an extra dollar on marketing or advertising. This becomes a business coach's superpower. So as a business coach, you'll never again have to worry about working with business owners that can't afford your high-end coaching fees. Check us out at focused.com.